Gaza's skyline is vanishing. Towers reduced to rubble, families fleeing with nowhere to go. The death toll has surged past 64,000 and famine is spreading across the enclave. In Washington, President Donald Trump delivers what he calls a final warning to Hamas. A fragile question hangs over the region: truce or deeper devastation? US President Donald Trump has stepped up pressure on Hamas, telling the group it must accept a proposed Gaza ceasefire and release of hostages. Speaking on his Truth Social platform, the president said the Israelis have accepted his terms and that it was now time for Hamas to do the same. He warned that this was his final message, insisting there would be no further ones.
Everyone wants the hostages home. Everyone wants this war to end. The Israelis have accepted my terms. It is time for Hamas to accept as well. I have warned Hamas about the consequences of not accepting. This is my last warning. There will not be another one. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Hamas responded later through mediators, confirming it had received ideas from the United States but offering few details. The group said it was reviewing the proposals and discussing them with mediators while restating its demand for a clear declaration of an end to the war and a full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. On September 7th, Trump told reporters as he traveled from New York to Washington that he expected progress soon. He predicted a deal could be reached in the near future and expressed confidence that all hostages would be returned, saying he believed Israel would move forward under the framework. Israeli broadcaster N12 reported over the weekend that Trump's proposal would require Hamas to release all 48 remaining hostages on the first day of a ceasefire. In exchange, Israel would free thousands of Palestinian prisoners while negotiations on a permanent end to the conflict take place during the truce. An Israeli official, speaking anonymously, said the government was seriously considering the plan but declined to elaborate further on its terms. The ceasefire effort comes after months of stalled negotiations involving US, Qatari, and Egyptian mediators. For now, Trump has made clear that his proposal represents his final attempt to move the process forward. President Donald Trump says his administration is working on what he described as a solution that could be good for Gaza, hours after issuing a final warning to Hamas to accept his ceasefire proposal. Speaking to reporters in Washington on September 7th, Trump called the war in Gaza and the fate of dozens of Israeli captives a problem he wants solved for the Middle East, for Israel, and for everyone. He added that his team is working to resolve the conflict and secure the release of the hostages, promising that more details will emerge soon.
No, but you'll be hearing about it pretty soon. We're trying to get it ended, get the hostages back, get it ended. We got them all back, but 20. And as you know, we have 20, plus there are a lot of, unfortunately, dead bodies involved. And they want them back. The parents want them back. So we had some very good discussions. Good things could happen.
Can you give us your reaction to what's some of the advice he's giving to you, and why did you bring him back in to work on this deal?
I think we're going to have a deal on Gaza very soon. It's a hell of a problem.
What gives you
Again,
that
it's a problem we want to solve for the Middle East, for Israel, for everybody. But it's a problem we're going to get done. So they have hostages. It could be a little bit less than 20 because they tend to die, right? They tend to die. Even though they're young people largely, they're dying. Young people don't die. Young people stay alive. But with this whole thing, they tend to die. But we have, let's say, 20 people, and we have about 38 bodies. Bodies, meaning bodies.
Are you confident you can get them all released?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to get them all.
Trump and envoy Steve Witkoff drafted the new Gaza ceasefire plan while golfing last week. Instead of official mediators, as per Al Jazeera, they used backchannels via an Israeli peace activist and a US-Israeli businessman to reach Hamas. The proposal includes Hamas frees all 48 captives in exchange for 3,000 Palestinian prisoners. Israel halts plans to occupy Gaza City, and Trump personally oversees talks under an open-ended ceasefire. It remains unclear if Israel has accepted the terms, despite Trump's claim that it has. Meanwhile, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has begun a 3-day state visit to the UK at Prime Minister Keir Starmer's invitation. Talks will focus on a permanent Gaza ceasefire, humanitarian aid, the release of captives, Israeli withdrawal, and preparing the PA to govern Gaza. Israel has destroyed another high-rise in Gaza City, continuing its push to seize the enclave's largest urban centre. The latest strike levelled Al Ruya Tower, a 5-storey block with 24 apartments, shops, a clinic and a gym. Palestinian Civil Defence says at least 50 high-rises have now been reduced to rubble since the operation began. The assault forced hundreds of families from nearby shelters to flee in panic. Witnesses described residents scrambling for safety before the attack, as civil society groups warned the strikes are driving civilians southwards, even into areas Israel designates as safe zones, which are also being bombed. Palestinian officials reported at least 65 people killed across Gaza on Sunday, most in the north. Several victims were sheltering at the Al-Farabi school, which had been converted into a refuge for displaced families. Survivors spoke of chaos as parts of the school collapsed, trapping people under the debris. According to Gaza's health ministry, the death toll from Israel's campaign has now surpassed 64,000, with more than 160,000 wounded. At least 387 people, including 138 children, have died from malnutrition since October as famine deepens. Rights groups and UN experts have described the devastation as a genocide. Meanwhile, Israeli media reports that the Prime Minister claims about 100,000 Palestinians have already fled Gaza City as the military advances.